Hey, Billy. Billy Shoemate, welcome. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, it's going well, Billy. How about you, man? We just did the drawing, so it's going good, man. Just want to do a quick polish, quick sharpen of these tools real quick before I get into this mallet, finish this mallet. The stone has been a bit stubborn. Michael, welcome. Well, Rumpelstiltskin, I'm sharpening my tools because I'm working on a mallet. And I'm doing a mallet inlay with this little part that I kind of lost. And well, welcome, Rumpelstiltskin. Frostbite Digital, welcome. Frostbite Digital said howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. We say howdy back. Not sure about the efficacy of this particular whetstone. Been a little touch and go. Gagey, welcome. Thank you for your comment on the video earlier. Lucky old plywood. I think he's won another giveaway for a different creator before. Like I've seen his post. Take these all over this 3000 right here. Want my smaller chisels kind of available for this end of this mount, and then I'll go back and finish that bed, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Feels like it's not gripping. Yeah, he should. Thanks for the thumbs up, Rubber Stillskin. Welcome, Michael Haggerty. Michael Haggerty said hi. Rumpelstiltskin said plywood is here. Is plywood here? Woodshed by Dan said hi, Calvin. Hi, everyone. Did I just hear plywood won? If so, congrats, plywood. He did. He did, Dan. And as I said a minute ago, he's pretty lucky. Like I think he won a giveaway on another crafter's YouTube, and I feel like I've seen that on his YouTube page. Me too. But we're going to be doing more giveaways on here. This mallet I'm making now is going to go to BW Wood Turning in Denmark. But I'm going to do the heart inlay as part of the challenge from Delan. And then I will make a box and give that away. And I'll just keep making. I don't sell stuff here. I can only give it away. Gagey. Sometimes a shout out is the best thing to win. Yeah, he is. He is, man. I think, I told him I would send it to him. He's going to send me some salt and pepper shakers. But I told him I would send it to him, just take your time on the salt and pepper shakers. I want them, but I don't want him to feel like he has to do them before I send this thing to him. I think this little mortise chisel here is going to be important to this project a little, because I got to do this little inlay. Thank you. I did not think about the fact that it is hibiscus. Thank you. Freestyle Frostbite Digital said, I'm loving the hibiscus shirt. I never even thought about what strain, what cultivar it was on the shirt. And I'm a plant guy too. Dick Smith said hi. Which by Dan said sounds fun. Love inlays. Yes. Yeah, it's not a super complicated one. I don't have a lot of carving tools here, so um, we're gonna just do it with what we got, small chisels, and I'm gonna use a a drill to actually pilot out the area. So, but first I really want to get after these mortises. They're not clean, and they need to be a little deeper for the mallet head to fit properly. Here we have, this is actually the A side. So that's A side, here's B side. And you see that gap there, so that means that the mortises have to be worked more. And I'm gonna chisel those, so that's why we're doing this. Thanks everybody for being here. Now let's flip this stone over and move to the 8,000 side. Dad's workshop's going to be streaming a lot. So you just keep your alerts on and stuff. And when we give giveaways, when we do giveaways, and they're going to be at random times, you know, you'll get an alert if you put that button on, you know, all alerts. So. Which by Dan said, right on, nice. Heather B said, welcome, Dick. That is his name. So. Notice I'm putting some pressure down here. Gotta put some pressure down. Yeah, Gagey, I think we have like a wish list, if that's kind of the thing you're talking about. But email me at that thing on the email address that you saw on the thing, and I'll talk to you. Of course, Gage, I'll take any of those kind of a good surprise, you know. Yes, Frostbite Digital said I don't have the patience for doing any inlay by hand these days. That's a job for Mr. CNC. Somebody double tap that screen. Somebody came in here and unliked me. I'm the only woodworker I know that somebody comes up in there and unlikes me like that. I don't know anybody else where that happens. I must really rub people the wrong way, bro. Whoops, that could have been bad. It is what it is. Unlikes are also interactions, so if the person unlikes it but then proves to YouTube that they still go to the page, YouTube will keep showing the videos on there for you, you know, on their channel page, so they'll see it. The unliking it's not enough. You gotta like let YouTube know you really don't like it. Getting these chisels just about where I need them. I just want to make sure I can I got a spidey sense now when they're super sharp. I don't need to even run them up on paper. Just kind of brushing my finger over the edge, I can tell. Hey, where'd Mike go? Mike, you still in there? These stones got a lot of stuff up in them. Mike said he was eating. Well, he better bring enough for everyone, man. That's the rule around here. Heather B said Mike's making us dinner. I know Mike can cook it up, so I'm looking forward to it. It's not a real, so, I'm not putting a diamond or pearl or bone inlay here. It's wood in wood, so the inlay is a little easier. If you're watching Instagram of guys inlaying to intricate, paisley shaped bones that they cured and all that stuff. Woodshed by Dan said, well, I'm keeping you on, Calvin. I'm going to finish the grandkids top, but I'm watching. Thank you. Thank you, Woodshed. We appreciate you here, man. Uh-oh, that was bad. I'm gonna check and see what damage I did there. These little chisels can do real damage to your whetstones. So you really want to, just my personal advice, here's some value for you. Take your stone and dress it after you use it, a small chisel like this, because it's gonna make divots in there. Woodshed by Dan said, well, Gage said, crap, it didn't send. Can I get you to get me when you can? Yeah, I'll check your bio there, Gagey, and I'll send you a message. Yeah, man. In fact, I'll ask Heather when she's not busy to just gather that from your bio, and I'll try to hit you up as soon as I finish here. As long as it ain't nothing weird and you're cool, we're a family here. I don't mind, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? We take gifts. We're operating on a, very thin budget, obviously. So, yeah, we appreciate you, Gagey. Thank you for the opportunity. Let me go over these. Did I do my big chisel on here? Stone is just right, so I want to make sure these are. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Heather said, laugh, laugh, laugh. I'm here. I'm writing it down. LOL. So it's similar to this one, the shape of this one here. But this is the mallet. It's really supposed to be like right there. You get this water and all these little loose stuff off of here. Gage said BRB. We're here when you get back, Gage. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Drop something in the chat so we can shout you out. Appreciate you all being here. This is tight right here. A lot of people are going to say, experienced woodworkers are going to say, why does he do this, right? What I should do is have a piece of wood right here, right? So when I lean back, I'm not putting an edge on my other side. I'm not bending down that edge, right? Just a little trick, but for now, I'm not too worried about it. Robert G said hello, everyone. Welcome, Robert G. Friend of the program, Robert. Also starting his own channel, Robert G. Smoke Shop said, yo, what you doing? Working on another mallet, man. This one's gonna have that little heart inlay in it. It's gonna go to Ben over there at BW Wood Turning over in Denmark. I'm gonna send him this one. Robert G said LOL eventually, referring to his YouTube channel that he's working on right now. Like that he was working on today, so he doesn't feel regret later in his life for not grabbing the bull by the horns. Smoke Shop said smoke. Howdy, Heather B. Smoke Puff. Pelado? Is Pelado here? Pelado, it's time for a wife update, right? It's a Mrs. Pelado update we need. What if your niche was creating niches? Sure, that's been asked before. Pelado said, are you planning any particular niche for your channel, Robert? JG said, I'm back. The wife just got back from spending all my money. Spilling his money. I'm sure he could go into detail about that. Pelado said she's doing well, referring to his wife, scheduled to be released from the hospital tomorrow. Robert G said, when I get it going, it will be general woodworking and probably some stuff with all the animals. Smoke Shop said, not to be a smartass, but wouldn't stabilizing your table be advantageous? Well, my table is stable. Thank you, I am able. I have it held with a cable. And I made a new ladle. My table's on casters, man. That's why I rocks a little bit. It's a stable table. I have to have it on casters so I can move stuff around in here. I'm pretty safe, man. The casters make for smaller points of contact with the floor, so they're shaking, and I'm working ash right now, so it's a hard wood. Not a smart ass question, it's a fair question. can tell you haven't been here long because that table's been shaking forever. And still, I got better close-ups than most people in the business, even with a shaky ass table. Robert G said she has to stay at the local hospital for 2 to 3 months. Robert G said, or Pelado said, she has to stay at the hospital for 2 to 3 months. Robert G said, I have goats, coon, pigs, rabbits, a donkey, and chickens. Gagey said, I'm a poet and wrote the song just to show it. Poo poo, pee pee, baby, pee, baby, poo poo. Thank you. Had to read the chat. Paid the price. Paid the price for chat reading. I mean, I could have probably read it better, to be honest with you. He's like, man, he read that like trash. But, you know, that's how it goes. Gage said he's here all week, spitting mad bars. Oh no, he didn't say that. Just trying to make sure these shoulders are clean. See how flat that is now? That's what I want. Heather B said, Robert G, I want to see them pigs. Smoke Shop said, word. Heather B said, Gagey, a masterpiece. Gagey said, thank you, good night. Heather B said, damn, that's a long time, but she'll be back for the holidays. Hold on, now it's taking me a minute to get my chat back. Gagey said, driving to the bar in my car, went too far, found a farm, found some pigs, wanted to eat because they taste so good. Mike is making stuff, said, let's go. Off work now. Welcome back, Mike is making stuff. New Beginnings Woodwork said, hey. Smoke Shop said, yo, at Mike is making stuff. Now we're updating on our chat. Welcome back, member Mike. I want to give an opportunity to everyone who would like to become a member to check it out. It's not a huge financial. If you're like a live stream person and you're going to be up in here playing around, like, it's always nice to have that star next to your name and people to give you the respect, and even the moderators to give you the respect to kind of say more of what you want to say. A little more freedom, a little more content. A lot more like exclusive stuff. Like, I got videos I probably won't share with the general public, but I will share with them with my members. So call to action, become a member. Jean-Michel, bonjour, bienvenue. That's the B side. Oh, that's much better. I can already see that being better. Oh, we're getting closer, guys. You know my favorite phrase. We're getting closer. Let's go back a second. Heather said, welcome, Jean-Michel. Mike is making stuff said that star is flex. The star. Yeah, the star is flex. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, that star is flex. Thank you, Mike. And I'm a member of Mike's also, and encourage you to check them out as well. Mike is making stuff. He has a lot of practical solutions to your everyday tool needs. Smoke Shop said, taking a break from editing, and I am now in the loop, it seems. Jean-Michel William said, merci. Rumpelstiltskin said, okay, so those two pieces come together. Was wondering, yes. It's going to look like that relatively, right? These two pieces come together, and then they form with the mallet handle, and we work that a bit. Then I'm going to inlay this little cherry thing, and I think I can get it all done today. I'm not worried about it. These are woodworking mallets, Rumpelstiltskin. So they're not for spinning straw into gold or capturing the miller's daughter. You know, it's not that kind of tool. It won't help you remember anybody's name. Gagey said, found a girl, people call her. Okay, I have to be careful what I read here. Yeah, I'm not going to read that, Gagey. Got to be careful with stuff like that. Rumpelstiltskin, it locks it in the keystone. Yes, correct. Yes, right. Smoke Shop said LMAO. Yeah, I mean, I love out of here, but there's some stuff, if I read it, my view count might just go down like it did. Got to be careful about that. Yes, I'm going to take some out of this side now. I think once I get this leveled out, it's going to be nice. Thank you, Gagey. Mike said, I did a mallet recently, maybe a member giveaway over on my end. Absolutely. Wes is doing mallet giveaways too, so join all of our channels, you know, be a member of everywhere. Also, we're like a community. If you're bored, man, we're always like around. One of us is always doing something, dropping videos or on live to talk to you. You know, it's like almost like we're 24, like on call 24 hours a day almost, man. Like one of us is like almost always on. Only time I would say we're not is like in the middle of the night Eastern time, because even the folks that are on the West Coast are starting to like go to sleep and stuff like that. But we sure here at Dad's Workshop, I definitely can speak for us here, and we are very appreciative of you. I know Mike appreciates his people. Gagey said, gonna head to dinner. See y'all later. Take care, Gagey. Held together by glue. Yes, it is glued up. It is glued up, correct. Now this one, when I snapped this together, this held together without any glue. So the joinery was already good, right? If your joinery is good, then the glue, all the glue is doing is just making it super secure. And you got to make sure that your joints line up nicely. Or you have to wedge it and other stuff, which is okay. Like a lot of mallets are wedged. I think my mallet that I'm making this with has wedges in it or shims in there. Hey, do me a favor, folks. If you're my friend or you're enjoying your time here, let YouTube know that you like it here by double tapping that screen and liking this video. I'm excited to get done with this part, because once I finish this part, I can start the inlay part, which I'm a little nervous about, but I'm excited because I think I can do it. I mean, I just haven't inlaid anything for a while. I did some bows and a table I did years ago that had a crack through the grain wise with it. So I put in a real strong walnut bow in there. Also, the table's moving a lot because I'm going directly perpendicular with the grain here. If you've been paying attention, the mallet's grain is going this way, right? That's the way we get the strength out of both pieces. So right now I'm going against that strength directly by going perpendicular to the grain. But if your chisel is sharp, then you shouldn't have a lot of problem doing that now. This is a very hard wood as well. So. Tappity tap tap. Oh yeah, in fact, I do a lot of stuff Rumpelstiltskin with no nails and no fasteners. The bed that's behind where the camera is right now has no fasteners in it at all. Most of my stuff is joinery Rumpelstiltskin, so if that's what you're looking for, you definitely came to the right place. But mallets got to be glued. They can't handle that stress of impact without glue. I'm sure there's somebody in the world who's made one with pure joinery, you know, but not generally. Mallet's got to be glued up. Out, 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 dude. But not just the Japanese use joinery, Rumpelstiltskin. Westerners use joinery also. Who do we got in the chat? New Beginnings Woodwork says, made my first pen on the lathe today. That sounds fun. Did you get some good burl wood? Jose Rubira Espinoza said, hi. Welcome, Jose. Heather B said, welcome, Jose. Because I always got somebody covering my tracks. Where's that tool? See how much higher that is right there? Yes, Rumpelstiltskin. We also have houses that we make entirely with no hardware as well. We call it timber framing. The Japanese do it, but it has been practiced by all races of people all over the world for the last couple thousand years. So it's something common to humankind now. I prefer to do it now. So like my bed has no hardware in it that I built back then. It's not just a regular bed. We're talking about a bunk bed with no hardware in it. Check out some of my other videos. You can see me doing a lot of joinery, no nails, no fasteners. And I am not Japanese. I have no Japanese ancestry whatsoever, though I do like Japanese techniques. So I do use a pull saw, stuff like that. This is ash, New Beginnings. But interestingly, you know, ash, you can tell the difference by looking at it. But when you cut it, the smell is very similar to like white oak. You know, the grain, you can tell the difference when you look at it. Got that wide grain. And you know, the fine pores too. It just has a look. I saw, who did I see turning it the other day? I think it was maybe Whacking Shack. I was on his channel. He was turning, or it could have been BW too. I don't remember. It was a wood turner. And since they always put their camera on their workpiece, bless their hearts, I never remember who I'm watching, unless I've like sat there and they put their camera on, you know, their face on camera. But they were turning ash, and I recognized it right away. You know. What's going on in the chat? Timber frame, that's correct. Timber framing, Rumpelstiltskin, and the practice of joinery, which is a worldwide practice. I used it, like my project that I'm currently working on, I've been working on for several months, is a second bunk bed with all joinery and no metal fasteners. And so that's what I have to my right, kind of behind the camera. I would flip the camera, but it usually messes up my live stream's vibe, so I'll wait to do that at a different time. There's tons of videos of me working on it though. Yes, the Amish use timber framing. That is correct. That's a good example. Rumpelstiltskin to the Amish, they even physically move their houses. Yes, so when you make a timber frame house, unless you have a crane, you have to have a group of people lift the bents, which are the structures that hold the main rigid structures of a house are called, you know, you have them called rafters, right? And then you have sill beams and plates. But those are all connected to form a horizontal member of a structure that's called a bent. And the Amish, when they're raising a church or a barn, what you see them raising is the rafters and the plates and the sill beams. So that's called a bent when they raise those. B-E-N-T. These words that are used for other stuff too. It's crazy. A bent is like a name for a segment of a timber frame. A timber frame is rigid, so you could put it on a truck and you could just drive away with it, right, theoretically, because the house is so rigid it holds itself together from all the racking forces from all the sides. Whereas if you tried to take a stick frame house and put it up on the back of a truck, it probably would fall apart if the truck stopped too fast, etc. So timber frame structures, if they're built correctly, can withstand a lot of force, racking force, and also contain a lot of usable space. We're getting down to the bottom of this part here. Shoulders, the cheeks, the straightness of those could just be the problem, you know. Sometimes just straightening the shoulders and cheeks of your piece. And it still looks like maybe this side would be a little too shallow. Ooh, it's pretty close, dude. And now we're coming together. It's a little loose on the top. I'm not super fan of that, but I can widen this side and push it up on the handle a little bit. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do probably. Broaden that angle, but see the plates are coming together now. What we need them to do is meet, right? Right. So Rumpelstiltskin, there are Japanese temples that are timber framed that have been around for 1,000 years and withstood tsunamis, earthquakes, terrible weather, all of that. And there's also timber frame buildings in England that go back to the Anglo-Saxon era, you know, of the 3-digit years, you know. So I personally was in a timber frame barn that was neglected in Virginia. This was built in the late 1600s, and there was no one taking care of it. I was inside of it in 2010, and it was still standing up. Now the stuff was taking it over, but it was still standing up. No care whatsoever. The vegetation was starting to grow over it. Yes, they are. They are better on in weather and in racking stress because they're well engineered. All right, so I just need to take a slight bit from this side here, and I can start working on that inlay. Hey babe, can you grab me some ice water? Thanks. What we got going on in the chat? Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close there, chat. We're getting close there, chat. Hi, Carrie. Dan, Woodshed by Dan said I would say it, but he retracted it, so I wouldn't say it against his will. It wasn't that bad, but he might have something else he wanted to say instead. What I'm trying to do is just angle this bottom out a little bit here so I can slide this up a bit and match it up where that one is. There's just a kind of a gap I don't like. And if I just widen the bottom angle a little bit here, so maybe a little easier said than done, because it changes the whole angle when you take the bottom out. That's a little better, right? No? Some alignment. Like straight up misaligned. And some of that can be corrected here, but that's because of what I just did now. This I gotta fix. Oh, that was bad. So every time you take a piece out, like what I'm doing right now, it's going to change the angle that the handle sits in the tool, you know. So what I need to do it's maybe a little trickier building these mallets than people give it credit for, man. Like my first ones were real tricky. My third one I was good on. This one is giving me a few problems, but it's kind of my fault. Yeah, I want to just move the mallet up a bit. So I'm gonna take some. So what's the easiest way to do this? It would work as it is. I could probably glue it up, but I'm a perfectionist and I want it to be nice and flush on there, man. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, I'm gonna have to accept that. I think that might be as good as it gets there with that. Terry said, yeah. So let me go back a second. Woodshed by Dan said, hate to eat and run, so I'll run and eat. I'll see y'all later on. Woodshed by Dan, peace out, buddy. Rumpelstiltskin said, I get it. It's gonna fit better up the handle branch. Yes, that's correct. Wait till I get my chat back and I'll keep reading. Yeah, I'm gonna actually work the other side for a second and see if I can get it kind of up to that same point. And then Carrie said, hi Rumpel and Calvin. Hi Carrie. I think what I'm gonna want to do is just take some from the, yeah, because I don't mind it sitting up that high, and I don't mind that angle either. But I want to take some of this here every time I talk. Every time I talk. But that's all right. People are gonna have to get used to my voice here. I'll take some from the top of this bead section. Mallet head. Definitely a bunch of different tools that could do this for you. Routing plane, a whole bunch of stuff. Welcome to my member Wes. Also welcome to member Carrie and member Mike if he's still in the house. A bunch of members not in here. Laxus, shout out Laxus. Shout out Chardonnay wherever you are. Shout out Ruiz, shout out Gandara. But definitely Carrie is a member. Carrie's in the house. Wes does it as a member. Wes is in the house. Appreciate all y'all. Kind of getting this mallet up to the point where I'm trying to move it up the handle here, because I feel like the best place where it's going to join is kind of towards the top, like where you see that one there. That's a lot of movement though, kind of a lot of changing of stuff. Shouldn't be, but it may be more than I think it is. My goal is always for the mallet to assemble without glue, right? So I put it together, it snaps on there, it matches together, and I don't have to, I know the gluing is just securing it, that's what I'm always aiming for here. I may not achieve that objective, guys. I just may not achieve that objective. How's my bandsaw unplugged? No, I'm not gonna do that, guys. I'm just gonna level this out so that these two sides are touching solid here. And then I'm gonna turn it up when I finish. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna work on that the inlay. And because I got this matching to where I'm gonna be able to glue it up. It's a little tricky to do on camera here. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna give myself just a 5-second break. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Right there. I don't went too close to that thing. I'm like right there. Wes said, did plywood claim his mallet yet? Let me put my mic on. Hold on. Let me go back a second in chat. Wes said, hey Heather, I have to text that traffic lights. Rumpelstiltskin said, all right, got a scoop. Slumber calleth me. Got you, buddy. Nice chat. Catch y'all later. Peace, Rumpelstiltskin. Appreciate you coming. Wes Does It said, did plywood claim his mallet yet? No, he hasn't. But I've been on here for a while, so I don't know for sure. Wes Does It said, later, Rumpy. Rumpelstiltskin's got a bunch of fair maidens to trick and so forth. Alas, fair maiden, you have guessed my name wrong thrice. Thrice you have guessed it wrong. Hold on, dude. Oh, okay. Never mind. All right. How deep is my heart? How deep is my heart? How deep is my heart? Well, actually, we can take a look. It's probably about a 1/4 of an inch. Wes Does It said best wingman ever. Also good guy to know. Interested in who he's talking about. Let's take this thing here and put some tape on it. Little trick, take your bit, find you a 1/4 of an inch. Put the straight side on there. It's a little shallow so that if I mess it up, it's not too deep. Like rather than too shallow, I can handle too shallow, right? That's the only thing I want right there. Like that. Check it out. Now, if you all will excuse me, I'm going to have to put it in this way for a minute. I think my tape is moving. Might need some new tape. It is loose also. Definitely moving. It's pretty good. Not bad. Pretty bad. Now I'm going to show y'all something real quick. I want to stay inside this pencil line because if I go to the pencil line, it's going to be wider than my work piece itself, right? Because we drew around it. So we want to work, this is one of the tricks of woodwork, is knowing when to work inside the pencil line. Looks like this pencil line here is not great either. Let's take a look at that. I tried to put it so the camera could see it. It might have been a bad decision. Yeah, but we want to work inside that pencil line regardless. I don't even care if it's not like level with the grain, as long as it's inset in there, you know, like pretty. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, Rumpelstiltskin's. Oh, my bad. See, I'm reading the chat too late. Yeah, smooth with the ladies, man. Smooth with the miller's daughter. It's because he just carries it like a dom, you know. He comes in there like, madam. All right, let me stop. Wes, I'm gonna lose people if I start. Wes, stop trying to get me to start bringing up Dave Chappelle stuff. Like, I put my, I'm sure you remember the scene I'm talking about, since we think about exactly the same stuff. Yeah, man. That's why I enjoy when I'm in the chat, like just modding and stuff, because I can just joke around, just completely let loose. Now, kind of what Mike was talking about last night applies if you were watching Mike. Um, how you approach this grain when you're coming around a corner. If I was to take the chisel and try to do a stop cut like with the grain right there, it would spread with the grain. And so, kind of what Mike was talking about with the router bits last night, that principle applies here. You want to be careful how you approach that grain. And I'm not an expert carver. You all know I'm doing a lot of like big chiseling and stuff. This is finer work than I'm used to. It's a challenge. I like it. It's good for your brain. All right, so what we got? Also, Wes says, I am kind of corny. Daniel Gandar said, yo, Yoda member, Daniel Gandar. Welcome, Daniel Gandar. Longtime member, longtime friend of the program. Glad Daniel can make it. Daniel can't make those daytime ones. I almost thought about that when I did this. Like, Daniel might be able to make it. So like Wes, that's when you like just like let the person in front of you get 15 car lengths and just like roll. That's the speed of traffic. You know what I mean? I'm gonna want to be careful that I don't distort or like damage the shoulder of the mortise I'm cutting right now, because it is possible to do that bending your chisel against it. This is really meant a carving tool type job, right? So I'm using a chisel, but I got to be careful that I don't lean it against the side of the heart that I'm cutting out, because if I do that, it's going to bend that side over. It's going to make it not as clean. You know, yeah. Dang, I have sent you for a piece of gum. What happened? Oh, that's fine. What? That's yucky. You know what? Standard is not, I don't think it's, I mean, I've driven that in DC traffic before on 66 and standard transmission, and I wasn't even that good at it. I was like way out of practice. That little roll back first, roll back first, roll back first.
It's like the villain that's always loading.
Oxen yoke.
Heavy breathing over his shoulders. Log out.
The oxen yoke.
Log out.
What? Yeah, please, please.
Log out.
Can't think of anything. Can't think of, if you, unless you can. This shouldn't take that long to do this bit here. It's so little material. Now sizing it and like kind of cinching the fit right might take a couple minutes. But yeah. My wife's Mini is no fun to stop. No fun in stop and go traffic. Is your wife Wes, is your wife's Mini standard transmission? I mean, you should be able to drive between the lanes in that thing. Heather B said, "Did you get your truck back?" She's talking to Wes. Wes, did you get your truck back? Did you get your truck back, Wes? Wesley? I do not have a Dremel, at least not a working one, because the battery's dead. So I'm going to be doing this all with whatever I can find hand tools wise. Maybe even my pocket knife will get out at some point for this thing. Like my multi-tool was, my Gerber is like my go-to tool. I love that tool. Thank you. See, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to lean. It's just like instinct to lean my chisel up against that edge. Daniel said, I lane split cautiously on the bike. I haven't rode in a while. The Harley's been collecting rust since COVID. Hey man, send it to me, dude. I'll take care of it. It's sad. It wants to be ridden. It wants somebody to ride it that's never ridden a Harley. I'm like the one that it never met, you know. Your Harley, Daniel, you know. It just wants to go home. It wants to come home. I don't want it to get stuck in there, but I want to try it. Oh, we're getting close, guys. All I gotta do is work that top a little bit. I mean, it's not super clean, I'm gonna be honest. But it's a good exercise for me. I'm gonna get that top in there. I think I might just take it in just a little bit. We'll see how clean we can make it look, you know. And our problem here is just, oh, no, it fits, dude. That'll go in. So I just want to clean up the bottom of that. Ooh, that's bad, though. That side's bad. That's tight right there. Sits in there. Boop, boop, boop. Boopity, boop, boop, boop. There we go. Move this down a little bit. And like right in here. And we can shore up that other side after we glue it up. The first thing I'm going to glue up, the mallet. Then I'll glue up the inlay. I think that's the best way to approach it. Maybe not. Let's do this. Let's glue up this inlay real quick. The challenge as given from Delan's Handmade Woodwork was to put a heart in one of your designs this week. So if you are familiar with Delan, he has a small channel here, like we have a small channel on YouTube. And the challenge was to add a heart to one of your pieces this week. And so we put a heart into our mallet. Looks like on the camera there, the bottom looks a little rounded, but it doesn't look like that in person. Interesting. I'll have to work that a little bit. But the challenge was to put a heart into your work this week. So I'm going to always put my heart into my work, but I took this little piece of cherry. This is cherry. And I cut it out and gave it a shot. So let's glue that in into the ash. Let me flatten that mortise a little. I don't want to take any more from the sides. All right, what we got going on in the chat? Daniel Gandar said, the obstacle is the way. I feel like I've heard that before. I don't want to plane off that much of that heart once I glue it up. So I want to make sure that this mortise, it sits in is real flat. And all that stuff about putting sawdust in there to hide where you didn't fit it perfectly. You definitely want to wait to do that till the very, very end of this kind of thing, you know? Like, I hope it doesn't come to that. Especially since we got two tones of wood here, right? We got ash and we got cherry. So we would have to pick which one are we going to use to obscure the fact that we didn't cut the mortise right, you know? Or carve the inlay out. I need to look up what the proper terminology is for that. Definitely Wes's idea, rounded. Rounded seems to, like right now, I'm thinking rounded is the move, you know. It's very hard to get flat, but it's starting to come around here for me. Actually don't want to take too much more than that because I don't want to weaken the mallet. I think that's enough. Hey, said Eco Woodcrafts. Welcome, Eco. Appreciate you being here. Daniel Gandar said obstacles, like facing the challenge of putting a heart into a project, is not a challenge, but an opportunity for growth. I completely agree, 100%, Daniel. That's what we do here. We challenge ourselves. Speaking of challenges, I am going to make a fire tomorrow morning, and I will put that branding iron in there and send you your mallet. Daniel is one of our mallet winners. He's the winner for the members, right? This is an opportunity for me to extend our membership, which is $2.99 a month. We always have stuff going on. We're very social. So if you're hungry for that kind of social interaction, trust me, 24/7. Matter of fact, look, it's so crazy. Mike's running a live stream right as we speak right now. This is like totally stuck in there right now. So we're always doing something. We're sneaky. We run live streams while other people are running live streams. I do it myself, so I can't get mad at Mike. But that's the thing. We always got something going on around here. I'm a member of Mike's too, so I encourage you to be a member of Mike's. I love Mike. Mike is great. He's a hard worker. That's why he's on live right now. So burgers. All right, let's put this thing in here. Heart into thing. I think it fits better that way. It's like a stain on that side of the cherry, like in the grain. Yeah, we're gonna do it like that. We're gonna do it like this. My heart is not completely symmetrical. Let's glue it, put it in there. So become a member. Hang out with us all the time, and I'll shout you out all the time here, and you'll learn all kinds of stuff. And you'll become part of this growing community in an entertainment industry that is moving more and more towards live stream entertainment. We love to have a good time. We joke with each other. We have fun on Friday nights. We play, we have a live stream. We do kind of a round table. People say boring stuff. I try to hype them up. I try to get them riled up. They say more boring stuff. I say some boring stuff. I don't know how that works. And, it works, It just is what it is, basically. Not super keen about my my mortise up here, guys. It's ugly right there. Please don't break it. The Japanese pull plane. Definitely an opportunity for growth here, guys. But let me show you what I got. I think it looks pretty good, to be honest with you. And the Japanese pull plane worked to get that patina off of it, so it fits nicely in there. So I'm happy with it, actually, to be honest with you guys. I won't oil it until I have the other parts of the mallet put together. But we can go ahead and glue all that up too. I don't think it's too bad. You know, if I had hand carving tools, I think it would be better. But no excuses, man. This was the challenge. And this mallet is going to go to BW Wood Turning out of Denmark. Ben over there. We're going to work it a little bit more before I send it over to him. A little bit worried about that side there. Probably got to work that a little bit. But for today, it's not bad, guys. You know? Let me take this down. Hold on. I want to just make sure that I got this as close to here as I can get it. See, right there it wants to fit. Right here, we got a problem. We got a problem. Oh, that's fine. Might decide to dowel this mallet too. But that's where it's going to glue, just like that. So, hold on, let me pinch it in here just for a second. I do not like the amount of clay in there, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's fine though. We'll probably dowel it also. First, we're gonna butter it with this. You definitely want enough glue on there. You don't love a lot of squeeze out in this kind of project, but you want some. I can't see what B or A is. That looks like an A. And you probably should actually butter the handle too. But I think I got enough in there, dude. Let's do it. Nah. Mr. Mike from the Whacking Shack. Welcome, Mike. How you doing, buddy? Making this mallet for BW out in Denmark. Has a similar avocation to you. CNG, what's up? Didn't see you in there. Let me move that handle a little bit. What y'all think? I can get one more clamp on there? Maybe if I move this one down. Let's move this one down. Just to this corner here. Squeeze out a diamond out of there right now. So much pressure on this thing. Even pressure on that inlay, I don't like that. Let me move this a little bit because the pressure came down on that inlay. Hope I didn't snap it. Pushed it all the way in there. Y'all appreciate it. Oops, look, see? Look at me, man. Dang. That's all right. Put me on. That's what makes me human. Trying to keep it away from that inlaid heart, man. But it's just gonna have to go on top of it, guys. It's all right though, because it's gonna make sure that thing's in there good. Just keep the handle away from the other ones. Heck yeah. We're good with that. I'm good with that. You good with that, chat? You good with that, chat? Where you at? Let's put this aside. So I did the whole mallet over the course of the day. Appreciate everybody coming here to Dad's Workshop. I'm Dad's Workshop Calvin. We're gonna do another giveaway. We've already given away these 3 mallets. We're gonna give away more stuff. And contact me, you know, I'm a barterer. I don't mind you. That's why I'm trading this mallet for some salt and pepper shakers. Love y'all, appreciate y'all coming through. You could have been anywhere and you chose to be here for whatever reason. And I really appreciate y'all. And Dad's Workshop is gonna say goodbye for now. And we'll be back tomorrow. Go check out Mike. Probably lonely over there.